Hello, my name's Toby Hall. I'm in Cynthia Johnson's 4th period English class, and today we're going to be watching an iMovie about Texas Holdem. And the question is, how is real money Texas Holdem perceived? Alright, and what we're going to do today is we're going to interview 3 people, a rookie, an amateur, and a professional poker player. We're going to get their perspectives on Texas Holdem, and we're going to look at some data and a couple quotes, and we're going to talk about really how is Texas Holdem perceived. So we're going to start this off today by saying a little quote right here, and this is off DurChallenge. Well, actually, realmoney.durchallenge.com, and this is a quote from David Skansky. I ain't gonna lie, I can't pronounce his last name right. He said that good poker players are at war with luck. They are trying to minimize luck as much as possible. And that's really right there. That's just saying, you know, luck is a factor in how people win. And so, but, you know, the better poker players trying to get rid of that and narrow it down to all skill. That's basically what that says. I interviewed my papa, Lacey Hall, for my perception project on, you know, how is the card game of Texas Holdem perceived. And he is a rookie card player. We only play in the summer times, a few times by the pool when we're bored and don't have nothing else to do. And he basically said that the more you play, the more you win. And he didn't mean it as, you know, the more you play, experience. Like, he didn't mean it as, no, the more you play more hands, you've won more. He means it as, if a player plays a person who's played more, then the person who played more is more than likely going to win. And that was basically all he said. He didn't have much to say. He hasn't played the game a lot. He doesn't understand, you know, all the concepts, and I mean, he does, but he don't fully understand them. But he is a rookie card player, and that was his perspective of Texas Holdem. Also, for my How is the Card Game of Texas Holdem project perceived, I interviewed Donovan Lane, who is a senior at Chevy Valley High School. He is a amateur to above average card player. Play with him most of the time, actually, not several times, most of the time. He avid card player. He says he's a card shark. He's pretty good at the game. He understands, you know, a lot about it. He's played a lot of poker, and he perceives Texas Holdem as, well, he said it that. He never gave me a definite answer, but he said that when we play, all his buddies, that he feels like some of us are unluckier than others, such as not being able to draw cards out of the deck and all that stuff. He said others are luckier than others. But then he ended the interview by saying that most of the time there's about 3 of us that it always comes down to, and it's one of us 3 always win. So he believes that Texas Holdem is more of a skill game, but luck is definitely a factor. Because, you know, you don't have good cards, you can't win. But he is a believer that Texas Holdem is a game of skill over luck. But that's what he said. Finally, I interviewed Colton Dameron, who is a finance major at the University of UPike. He works for Kellogg's. He's a great guy, and he's a card player. Now, let me tell you, he is a professional. He is one of the best in Pike County. I'd put him in the top 5 in Pike County, top 5 card players. He is a dandy. He can read you. He knows what you have. He gets good cards. He's very good. And when I interviewed Colton, I asked him how he perceived the card game of Texas Holdem. And this is what he said. He said, Texas Holdem is a card game at face value, but it's the most intriguing card game to him. He says it intrigues him because you don't play against the house or the casino. You play against other people. You get to see how they play. You see how they think. You have to dig deep in their mind and understand what they're thinking and how they're betting and how they're putting money in and what they're playing and what they're not playing. He said it's all a process. He's very avid. He plays all the time. Colton said that he believes that, once again, there is luck involved in the game. You have to get good cards. But he also said that if you're a good enough poker player, you don't need good cards to win. So he's saying that Texas Holdem is a lot more skill than luck. He's saying that Texas Holdem is the most complex card game, and he's saying that Texas Holdem is the card game for him. Also, of realmoney.dirtchallenge.com, 11-time World Series poker winner Phil Hemsmuth infamously stated, "If it weren't for luck, I'd win every time." So that clearly lets people know that luck is a big factor involved in it. But, I mean, knowing that a guy has won the World Series poker bracelet, that's what you get for winning it, 11 times, he has to be doing something right that other people are not, because then, other people would win it 11 times, such as him. But that's what I have take from that quote right there. According to PokerListings.com, a consulting firm out of Washington, D.C., Sigato Group, did a large-scale examination of over 100 million hands of poker. And man, that's a lot of poker. They found two big things that really supported the perception that Texas Holdem is more skill than luck, and that Texas Holdem really just is more suited for smarter individuals too. But they found that 3/4 of all hands never went to showdown, which means that 75 million of those 100 million hands, the person who won the hand never had to show what they had, and they got to drag the chips without even showing their cards. They bluffed the other person out, or they just outsmarted them. And the other thing is that only 12% of those 100 million hands, so 12 million of them hands, was actually won by the best possible cards. Meaning that everybody, let's say 5 people are playing, so out of those 5 people, the person who actually got dealt the best hand won. That's saying only 12% of them. That means 88% of the time, the person with the best hand loses, which means somebody else is outsmarting them, or they just, they're not smart enough to realize that they've won the hand. In the 1998 film Rounders, Mike McDermott, a.k.a. Matt Damon, said, "Why do you think the same 5 guys make it to the final table of the World Series of Poker every year? What are they? The luckiest guys in Las Vegas?" Now, with that being said, I don't think any 5 guys could make it to the same table with the World Series of Poker every year, so obviously they have to be doing something different. They must have an edge to the game, or they're just more suited for this game. They probably have a better skill set of this game, Texas Holdem. Finally, after conducting my 3 interviews and looking at multiple sources and different quotes about how Texas Holdem is perceived, and some data on specific hands of Texas Holdem, my personal perception of Texas Holdem would be that Texas Holdem requires skill, requires a lot of skill. But I'd also like to say that no matter how skillful you are at the game, you still have to get cards to play. You have to get cards to win. So without the cards, you can't win, but you also have to know how to play the cards you get dealt to win the game. So I'd say, Texas Holdem's probably about 80-20, skill over luck. And, it's a very, very powerful mind game, but in the end, you have to get cards to win. And that's how I perceive Texas Holdem.